The season is over, the post-season testing is done as well. So now it's time to rate every single race. We definitely had some bangers and we had some ones where we fell asleep. Alright, so we got 5 different tiers. Best of the century, amazing, but not the best. Some good moments in the race, meh. You still awake? Those are the options. First race, Bahrain, start of the season, Max Verstappen dominates. We haven't heard that in a while. Do you even remember one moment from that? It's a meh. It's a meh. Has to be. I'm sorry. Saudi Arabia, as you can see, I'm scrolling through the tiers. It was the race where Ollie Behrman had his first debut. And I gotta say, it wasn't amazing. So let's keep it at some good moments. Next one is Australia, and it's the first one that Max Verstappen didn't win. As far as I remember, it had some good moments. One where Russell crashed in the final lap, and Max Verstappen, of course, had a DNF, so he didn't finish. I gotta say, it was a good one. Not the best of the century. We're not quite there yet. Not amazing. So, some good moments as well. Moving on to Japan, round number 4. It was a race where, of course, Max Verstappen won again with Perez in P2. It's not a fantasy, it's actually real. I mean, apart from the crash that happened in lap 1, not a lot happened as far as I can remember. Some good moments. It wasn't meh. It wasn't great. China was round number 5. It was a sprint weekend. Both the sprint race and the race were won by Max Verstappen. I can't say it's amazing, but some good moments as well. Yeah, it's looking a lot like there were a few races with some moments. One so far, kinda meh. But as we move on to Miami, of course, the one where Lando Norris won his first Grand Prix in Formula 1. I have to say, it was an amazing race. Not because he won, because like in the final race during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, I was hoping for Ferrari to win the Constructors. That didn't happen. Hopefully next year, that would be amazing. Imola, Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The one where Max Verstappen got hunted by Lando Norris. A turning point already of the season? I want to say yes, because it was an amazing one. Very much in the final laps where Lando Norris was catching Max Verstappen, but it was not the best of the century. Now I don't want to be disrespectful, but the next one, Monaco? Yeah. Do I even have to say more? We had a crash with Perez and I think it was both Haases, which ended up ruining the entire race because everybody went to the hards and just ended the race on the hards, staying behind each other, not really doing anything. I think I fell asleep that race. But we gotta move to the other side of the world, to Canada, to the Canadian Grand Prix. It started out in the wet, it moved to the dry. Max Verstappen overtook Lando Norris when Lando came out of the pits. It was a beautiful race, not the best, but that's just because we had like such an amazing race late on in the season. Let me know in the comments if you know which one that was. And yeah, that's why it was amazing, but not the best. Spain was round number 10, and with Spain, it was also the last race that Max Verstappen won for a long time. I gotta say, I don't remember it that good, so that gives me the feeling that it was kinda meh. But the next one, ho, it had some spicy moments. It was Austria, of course, as Lando Norris and Max Verstappen had a fight during the closing stages, which ended up crashing them. Lando Norris was out of the Grand Prix, Max Verstappen finished in P6, and George Russell won his first race of the season. Great Britain, Silverstone, one of my favorite Grand Prix to watch, as it has put some spectacle throughout the years. 2021, of course, not really that I like that one. And of course, definitely 2024. It was raining, it was not raining, it was going crazy. Everybody different tire strategies, fighting for the win. And eventually, it was only one person who came out on top. It was Lewis Hamilton. Yes, he won that race. Beautiful to see him win the final race in Silverstone with Mercedes. And that's why I gotta say it was one of the best of the century. Of course, we've had some awesome races like Abu Dhabi 2010, Abu Dhabi 2021, Monza 2008. If you know what happened there, let me know in the comments down below. Now moving on to the next one, which is Hungary. I gotta say it was kinda meh, but only for one simple reason. The team orders. Lando Norris having to give up the win to Oscar Piastri. It just made it made the entire race go purely because he had to give up the position. That's not what racing is about. Moving on to my home Grand Prix, the Belgian Grand Prix. As you can see, I'm already hovering it over the amazing but not the best. I'm gonna place it right there and I'll explain it right now to you. I put it there mainly because of the final stages again. Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri and George Russell going for the win. Of course, they weren't really that close, but the intense atmosphere that was hanging around every single TV around the world to see who was gonna win that race. Russell eventually winning. Never mind. No, it was Lewis Hamilton because Russell's car was illegal or something like that. It was amazing to watch. Gotta be honest. But that's my opinion. Then the Dutch Grand Prix came along and it was a good one. Not amazing, not the best. Lando Norris dominated that race. The first driver to win the Dutch Grand Prix, apart from Max Verstappen, since the return in 2021. You might think like, Nick, you're just a Ferrari fan, as I put Monza to amazing but not the best. But you gotta be honest, come on. Charles Leclerc winning in Monza again, just like 2019. It was amazing to see that, and of course the battle between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris in lap 1, making sure that Leclerc could stay with them, of course. It was amazing to watch. Just like a lot of races this season. I have to say, apart from 2021, this is one of the best seasons in a long time, and I hope 2025 will be exactly the same, or maybe even better. But I move on to Baku, and as you can see, some good moments, yes. That's mainly because the race ended under a virtual safety car, which made it a bit sad. Of course, Oscar Piastri got his second win of the season there. Just because it ended under a virtual safety car, it made it feel a bit meh. Of course, the crash between Perez and Sainz was kinda cool, so I gotta put it amazing. Yeah, I just made up my mind. Had to do it. As we arrive in Singapore, it's the final race for Daniel Ricciardo, unfortunately. Probably forever, hopefully not. It had some good moments. It was nice to see that Lando Norris could win again purely on pace. Of course, that McLaren became a rocket ship in the final races. It was a good last lap from Daniel Ricciardo, getting the fastest lap to help Max Verstappen. Other than that, I don't really remember anything. COTA, the second American GP in the season, second of 3. We had, of course, that amazing battle between Verstappen and Norris. Norris getting the penalty eventually, and a Ferrari 1-2. Gotta say that battle was phenomenal. Some might say it was a bit unfair, but that was just pure racing. Going till the very, very maximum, going to the very limit of racing, and that's just what you love to see as an F1 fan. Now, as we go to Mexico, you might think like, yeah, they were fighting again. That has to be an amazing race as well, right? Not really. Of course, you had Tsunoda crashing in lap 1. You had Norris and Verstappen who were going at it, with Verstappen getting a 20-second time penalty, 2 10-second time penalties, and Sainz winning the race. It had some good moments, but apart from that, that's it. The next one is the Brazilian Grand Prix. I think everybody still remembers this race. It's one of the best of the century. I can't put it first, so I gotta put it in second. It's just on the same tier. But the Brazilian Grand Prix, from start to finish, has to be one of the best Grand Prix I've ever seen. Max Verstappen going from P17 to P1, Alpine having a double podium, strategies being fucked up and being amazing. I loved it. The Las Vegas Grand Prix, it had some good moments, as Russell kinda ran away with the win, and you had some battles, of course, with Verstappen and the Ferraris and Hamilton, but at the end of the day, it looked like Verstappen just let him through because he had to secure the championship, just stay ahead of Norris. So that made it a bit less amazing, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, unfortunately, that's only some good moments. Qatar ended up being, I gotta say, not best of the century. Of course, we had the mirror of Alexander Albon going on track, Valtteri Bottas driving over it, yellow flags with Lando Norris didn't see, getting him a 10-second stop and go penalty, and a lot more that happened. It was amazing, but just not like Silverstone and Brazil. And now the finale. Of course, I was on the edge of my seat until the very last second, where Lando Norris won that Grand Prix to secure McLaren their first world title since 1998. It was an amazing race. The first crash with Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen, one of the final crashes of the year, actually. Perez spinning out as usual and stuff like that happening. It was an amazing race to watch, and I can't wait for the Australian Grand Prix to happen on the 14th till 16th of March. We still have to wait around 90 days. But if you like this and you have your own opinion, let them know in the comments down below. I'm open to suggestions, which I should change, which I should maybe put higher, put lower. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.